Well, Taylor and I are here in the Yahoo studio today to talk about IEM Katowice, sort of the storylines and takeaways from that. Now, Taylor, so many people, I think, going into this expected Reapers to win. There were a lot of different interesting things that happened for you. Maybe what's one of the storylines that stands out for you?
I think the biggest storyline for me personally is probably how well Fnatic did. This team was a team that got gutted after Worlds. They lost Huni, they lost Rainover, they lost Yellow Star, their primary shot color. But in this tournament, they made it all the way to the finals. People were kind of questioning how well they were going to do after their first game where they lost to the Reapers. But then they won 3 best-of-3s in a row, made it to the finals. Obviously dropped 3-0 to SKT, but it's SKT. What are you going to do? I think that was a huge surprise for me. Reckless played out of his mind on that Jhin. He's really the only good Jhin player that we've seen on the competitive stage. And everybody else was just playing super solid. It was a really exciting thing to see that team do so well.
Yeah, for me, I think the sort of a similar situation. Obviously, they didn't perform as well, but I think if you had asked people going into this, CLG looked like the much stronger team coming from North America. Obviously, CLG seemed to struggle, not really get it together. TSM, on the other hand, barring a very embarrassing match against Ever to sort of start off the tournament, that was when I was watching late at night, and just after that, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And we did get the Monte Cristo facepalm meme out of that, so I really appreciate that game. But other than that, I was actually kind of impressed that TSM was able to sort of claw their way back out after that loss. And it kind of shows that, even though CLG can have such a strong week going in, they'll still suffer maybe from the international issues that we saw at Worlds, whereas TSM has always looked a little bit more comfortable, even with a big roster change. So it's kind of surprising for me there. What else did you think maybe about the Reapers?
The Reapers, I'm not exactly sure what happened to them, because they were such strong team fighters back at home in China, and they still showed a little bit of that here and there in the tournament, but they really struggled to find those team fights, the right ones to get the job done. As always, their early game kind of struggled a little bit, the same problem that Royal has, but they just were never able to sort of claw back through that lead. And yeah, it really showed here. They're a team that needs to be able to find the right fights, and on the international stage, for some reason, they just weren't able to do it.
Yeah, I thought, even just looking at, if you hadn't seen the Reddit thread yet, there was a Reddit thread about sort of the translated reactions from the Chinese fans. That was pretty good. And yeah, it was just kind of surprising. I think so many people predicted them to win. Conversely, I mean, obviously everybody always has a lot of faith in SKT. How can you not? But I think that everyone felt like they were looking a lot weaker after their Victory World Championships last year. And so to sort of see them come back with such a dominant performance and 3-0 Fnatic and that kind of thing, I don't know. What were you surprised by that?
I was a little bit surprised. I mean, obviously, they're still SKT. They still have Faker, and they still have Bang, who in this tournament was just playing out of his mind. His Ezreal is completely ridiculous. There's basically no reason he should ever get that Ezreal. It's terrifying. But this was really the first time that we've seen Duke, their new top laner. They swapped out Martin for Duke, or Martin left, I should say. And this is really the first time that we've seen Duke really, really show up. His Poppy was amazing. Fnatic even went so far to ban it. He's just landing every small stun he could possibly find. And between him and Bang's Ezreal, who he had to play a lot this tournament, and then Faker even pulling out a Vel'Koz in one game, which was super surprising. But hey, they won, so whatever.
I mean, that's a Faker thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Just pull out something random.
Yeah, whether it's going to be Olaf mid at Worlds or he played Master Yi mid a couple times. He's Faker. He does Faker things.
Right.
He's what else is there to say? He's just Faker. So yeah, that team. They finally showed up. They finally showed why they're the world champions. It's really exciting to see them sort of come back and return to form.
Well, historically, IEM Katowice hasn't really done a great job of indicating strength going into international tournaments. MSI coming up in Shanghai in just a couple months. We'll have to see if we see a repeat of the strength from the different regions and how the stuff goes out. Though I will say it was really cool to see all 4 regions represented in the top 4. For everyone else, this is Yahoo Esports.